Hi guys, I can't hear anyone right now, but
Had us muted.
Okay, who is that?
That was, I believe, Jake Tomachek. We're just having a
Oh,
slight
okay.
issue signing on up here. We just have to wait 30 minutes. The Zoom login is
30
disabled.
seconds.
30, it's no longer 30 minutes, about 30 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
Our Zoom login was disabled on the TV.
That kind of throws our schedule
I
off.
know. Yeah.
But I have the actual meeting up and running.
Yeah, we just won't see
Here, we
you.
just won't see everybody who's virtual. You can.
I can.
All right, but we.
Okay.
Say, take your time, don't worry. You got another minute or two. No big deal.
Technology, yes.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is to accept the June 13th, 2022 Governance Committee meeting transcript. Carrie sent that out to all committee members. They had an opportunity to review it. Any revisions were sent back to her. So we will accept that for the record. Next item on the agenda is we open the meeting to public comment. If there's anyone who wishes to address the committee at this time, we ask that they state their name and address. They have 5 minutes to make their presentation to us. So at this time, we'll open it up. If there's anyone who would like to speak, either here or by phone, please let us know. Okay, hearing none, we'll close that section of the meeting. First item on the agenda is a review discussion recommendation to approve an extension of the September 1st, 2021 sales and use tax exemption agreement with Spark JC LLC from August 18th, 2022 through and including August 18th, 2023, and the total of which shall not exceed $3,093,333. Stacy.
Yes, so you have a request for an extension of time, given the multifaceted redevelopment of the Oakdale Mall, now called Oakdale Commons. Much of the work has just been in planning at this point. And so Spark JC is requesting an extension for 1 year on the approved sales tax exemption for that project. Mark Newman and Alexandra Davis are here representing Spark JC. Again, this is multifaceted. There are some national retailers involved, as well as local partners involved in the redevelopment. I know there were some questions posed prior to the meeting. So I would just recommend, yeah, we can have that.
You'll have a discussion. There were questions raised about the nature of local labor participation in the project to date. And I'll turn over to Dan with any comments or questions on that regard.
Yeah, my question was on the appointment of the GC for the project of the Dick's House of Sports. In Appendix A, it states that we shall try and do all local labor professionals shall be local labor, and the firm that was chosen is not.
So Purcell, yes. So Purcell has been selected, and they are serving in a sort of a CM management role for this project, similar in the way in which Bluestone's CM was selected. They're not self-performing the work. They're managing, and Mark, jump in if I'm incorrect on any of this, managing all bids and securing local specialties, subcontractors, et cetera. They did, and I since I last emailed you with a few questions, they did seek a waiver request to us just recently. So they are seeking that waiver. But again, they're not self-performing any of the work, but they will be managing the process of creating and issuing bids for the subcontracted work.
So I have no skin in the game as far as construction management. I mean, if I were a construction management personnel, I might take objection to it, but you can't compare Bluestone with a mall redevelopment. I mean, that's a heavy industrial project.
Sure, yeah.
Everything is going through Northland there.
Mhm.
The building trades actually took charge of that, and that's the reason that it's all local people on that job.
Mhm.
Because they tried doing that too, and we just told them, all right, go ahead and do it, but when it comes time for setting cranes, you're not gonna have any crane operators. No. A waiver should be an ask for permission to vary from the agreement, not a ask for forgiveness. The waiver should come ahead of time before it's done. In my eyes, I have to deal with contracts every day. I just was in the car right now dealing with a contractor wanting to vary from my contract. It rolls right off my tongue easy. No. That's just, I have to deal with contracts all the time, and they signed the contract, and Appendix A of that says they will seek to use it. Like I say, I have no skin in the game as far as
Sure,
that.
yeah.
part.
I mean, we've maintained our process with waiver requests. They come to us, staff reviews, has a follow-up conversation with the developer on this. We felt that the majority of the work in this situation, and given the nature of the developer's experience with Purcell, given the fact that all of the work will be subcontracted locally, that it maintained our
Yeah, I have
historical
no
process.
problem with
process.
you and the staff and the due diligence they do. Everybody does a great job, and I have no qualm with the extension, because I know how the economy is in the construction field right now. And it's bad. I just wanted to bring that
No,
point
I
up.
appreciate that.
Well, I have a question on waivers in general, like to your point. I mean, do we approve, do the waivers come to us for approval?
They do not.
They don't.
They've never.
No, they haven't, but I'm just wondering if when they request a waiver, you review it. And then I'm just wondering if we should see it just to understand what the purpose of the waiver is. You know,
I mean,
not-
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
I just
Because-
want, the process that would hold up. I mean, so if we did it over email, but if we had to do it at the board meeting, that
we
would
could do it over
hold
email.
up the process.
Because I
for
think
the
there's a sense,
developer.
I'm not speaking necessarily per se about this. I mean, because
Yeah,
questions came up with the Paul's project in JC because there
Yep.
were waivers there.
Correct.
And then there was questions about, well, what was the nature of the waiver? I mean, like it says, waivers granted or waivers approved.
Yep.
But we just don't know the rationale. We don't know you might know, but we don't know
Sure.
the rationale
Right.
why the waiver was approved.
Mhm.
And I'm just
Yeah.
wondering going forward, if we should you can email them to us and we just look at them. Then if we have any questions.
sure. That's
We can
something we
get
can
back
do
to
very,
you.
yeah, administratively.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So it doesn't hold up the project and stuff, so.
Mark, did you want to add?
Yeah, I want to just say, this sort of just give you all some background on this. So it's a multifaceted project. I'll just start with site work and also that contract's been negotiated and it will be signed tomorrow with Boric. That contract's in excess of $14 million. The Purcell, there's a lot of requirements. There's certain general contractors that don't meet bonding requirements that we have. That's a major part of it. They're not capable of getting the bonding. Purcell is capable of getting the bonding. We did over $70 million worth of construction work for us in the last 3 years. Very capable group. It's also a group that the anchor tenant there is comfortable with. The anchor tenants, if they're not comfortable with who the contractor is, they actually wanted to use their own contractor from out of town. It was extremely important to them. And it came down to a final, really, I don't even want to say negotiation, it got a little hostile in the sense that this is someone they said we use, we're gonna use, and that's just the way it is. And, you know, we talked about local labor and this and that, and the other thing, and they were like, well, look, you know, we think we're gonna be an asset to a mall that is on the decline and will be completely closed down soon. So we want to use ours. We said, no, we really need to do it this way. And hence Purcell is New York State for starters. Secondly, they've done a lot of work in this region. They're highly regarded throughout. They're doing a ton of work for Cornell. Anyway, so having said that, we're working very hand in hand with them. And the bids on the current demolition that's being done right now, the interior demolition, we went to, at one point, prior to Purcell, because of scheduling, Matthews and our group went and bid it out to 3 local contractors who all declined on the demo portion. So the demo portion right now, Akowski, Ewan local, and help me on this. Yeah, but they're out of town.
Right.
They were the one that was able to do it, but we have another local contractor in there. So a lot of it's being done on local. Everything's being bid across the board. We're involved in the bids. We're looking at them. We have relationships with the local contractors. It is our goal and objective to keep as much local here as we can, which was why we got involved in the mall in the first place, and not allowing it to go to an outside group or national group that does the mall thing. But I do want to be completely transparent and let you know in advance. The other anchor that is going to be going in Bontown, and Bontown will be demolished, but in the Bontown area, that is also a national tenant. And they use a group, and there is no discussion with them on who their CM is going to be. That will be what we call a reverse build to suit. They're going to be doing it. However, they've been advised, and it is in the lease and the agreement, that they have to follow the local labor law. And they understand that, but it's going to be a very similar situation that they're going to want to have a group, because in that building, it's a lot more involved. There's a lot of refrigeration. There's a lot of different things that they want this group involved with. So, and I think we're going to face similar circumstances throughout. There's going to be a medical component on the west side of the mall at some point. And, you know, we're in discussions now, and there again, that will, depending on how it all shakes out, because of the nature of that particular complex that's going in, they also want to CM that and will also be obligated under local labor law. So the objective by all groups is to keep it local. There's certain things that aren't going to be done locally, because we're not going to have some contractors don't have the ability to do some of it or don't have the time right now. But it is our goal. We see all the bids. It's all open book with us. We see everything, and we're not going to just let it slip away to out of town. So we take it very seriously, and we know how important it is to our local community.
Plus, Dan, the CM, I mean, it's, the important thing is who does the work, right? I mean, isn't that the important thing?
I guess unless you're a CM.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
on my aspect,
Yeah.
in the building trades,
Yeah.
that's what we do. Workers, but I mean, they're all workers, but
Yep.
you know, very, very valid point. And I understand that with national chains and stuff, where they have the people that they like.
Well, I think, I agree. I think the key is the CM's, I guess, focus or intent is to hire as much or all local labor as possible.
Absolutely, and they're not self-performing.
Right. So that's probably the caveat that
Exactly.
underscores this whole thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay. Any other questions on
No,
this point?
So,
Um, Okay. So is there a motion to approve the sales tax extension?
Joe.
Jim, second.
Second.
Joe, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation to approve an extension of the August 24th, 2021 sales and use tax exemption agreement and the February 24th, 2022 revised sales and use tax exemption agreement with LCP Group Incorporated from August 18th, 2022 through and including August 18th, 2023, the total of which shall not exceed $98,800.
Yes, this again is another request for extension term of the sales tax exemption for an additional 12 months. LCP Group, if you recall, we approved a sales tax exemption when they purchased the former National Pipe and Plastics building in the town of Vestal. A portion of that facility will be used for their own operations, and they were also renovating a portion of the building for leasable space. So due to a number of labor shortages, product back orders, and shipping delays, as I'm sure many are experiencing still as outcome of the pandemic, they have requested additional time.
Any questions, comments? Is there a motion? Motion, Joe, is there a second? Second, Jim, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? One abstention. Okay, motion is carried. The next item is the review, discussion, recommendation to accept an application from 33 South Washington Street. I think we have two abstentions,
Yes.
so we won't have a quorum on this, so we'll move this right to the main meeting at noon
Go straight to the board.
without,
Yep.
it, obviously without any recommendation. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation to accept an application from Phoenix Endicott Industrial Investors LLC and authorize a New York State and local sales and use tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $99,202.40 for a term not to exceed 12 months, consistent with the policies of the agency in the connection with the decommissioning of a boiler and the purchase and installation of a new 80 kPPH industrial water tube boiler to be installed in building 39 located at 1701 North Street in Endicott.
Yes, so if you, I have not been by the Huron campus recently purchased by Phoenix Investors, I'd encourage you to take a drive over there. You can already visibly see the changes that Phoenix Investors are making in the facility, and it's looking fantastic. The request they have today is, as you can imagine, facilities of those size, much of the equipment needs replacement. So the request today for a sales tax exemption only would support the direct purchase of a new 80 kPPH industrial water tube boiler to replace a boiler that had failed. The new boiler will be installed in building 39. I'm not sure exactly where 39 is on the campus, but we do have representatives from Phoenix on the line. The existing utility plant for the entire campus. There will also be various contractors hired to decommission the former boiler, install the new boiler. It will be the main boiler serving the campus, just under 4 million square feet for both comfort heating and process steam for various applications. The total project cost on this is $1.2 million approximately. The value of that sales tax exemption is $99,202.48. Again, we do have a representative from Phoenix Investors if the board has, or the governance committee, excuse me, has any questions.
Any questions?
Nice to see something that actually has the word industrial in it.
I know.
Boiler there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's nice.
it looks nice over there. They're doing a really nice
That's
job.
boiler found in my basement.
Okay, is there a motion to approve? Cheryl? Joe, second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion is carried. Do we need to go into executive session?
We do not.
There's one more.
One more.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one more. Review, discussion, recommendation to authorize the agency to require 25% of its agency fee to be paid by the applicant upon approval of the sale leaseback transaction or leaseback transaction benefits, with the remaining balance of its agency fee to be paid in 25% increments every 6 months, or in full at the time of closing, whichever occurs first. Stacy.
Yes, so this, after a number of discussions, both at the staff level and with the board in recent months, this is essentially the creation of a new policy related to the agency fee. As you know, the agency derives all of our income through our projects or through the sale or lease of buildings. That is how we are funded, and as such, we build our operational budget on those fees, those projected fees. The request that staff brought to the board is for a stronger and tighter process with regard to collection of agency fees. We assess a 1% fee on the total project cost. Typically, that's paid at the time of closing, for many understandable reasons. What we're seeing is projects are just taking a lot longer to get to close, and some are not making it through. That does have financial implications on this organization. There is a cost of doing business with our organization. And as I mentioned, we make a projection on an annual basis of those fees. So this would essentially establish a policy that at the time of approval, rather than closing, a 25% of that agency fee would be payable to the agency. In increments following such every 6 months, or in full at the time of closing if it's within, I would say, within a 6-month period of time. So I don't know if there's any questions on that. This simply just establishes the policy, and we will communicate that with applicants as they come to us moving forward.
So that 25% is not refundable.
No.
Right, so,
Correct.
okay, that's the important part of this. Okay. Any questions or comments? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion Cheryl. Is there a second? Second Jim, all in favor? Aye. Okay, and then no need to go in executive session, so is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Cheryl? Jim, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we're adjourned.
So we have
And then-